Hi guys, I just finished making this scarf on my continuous strand weaving loom. It's a rectangle. It's a 10 by, it's basically 60. It's about 58 inches. And I am going to crochet the edges with a single crochet edge. And I'm going to show you how I'm doing that. This is an an edge that just came off the loom. And you're going to have little loops, and that's fine to leave it alone if you want that soft edge, but I personally prefer to do a single crochet along the edge and make it a little bit more stable, and it seems to wear a little bit better. So we are going to grab our hook. This hook is a J 6mm. It might be a tad too large for the edge, but since I am using this yarn, which is my main color on my scarf, it's Charisma Big. It's actually a bulky 5. So because it's a bulkier yarn, I'm using a little bit bigger hook to go along with it. So you can choose whatever yarn you want to use to do your edge on your scarf. This is a little different than the slip stitch type edging that I've shown before. This is just a single crochet stitch, and it's really fairly simple to do. So let's get started. Okay, so I straightened out my fringe, and honestly I did trim these all the same length, and now they're all, who knows what's going on here. So if it happens to you, it happens to other people. See, look at that. I know that I trimmed it straight. They just have a life of their own, don't they? Okay, so we're going to take the end of our yarn. I'm going to stick my yarn over there. And we're going to start by putting it down and finding a little bit longer than the fringes now. And we'll trim this off later. Find where the knot is here. We're going to start with a slip knot. Okay, slip knot. I hold the tail end in my right hand. I'm right-handed, so, and I grab it and I turn it around and I pull that one through. And that's where my hook's going to go, right into that slip knot right there. Whatever way it works for you, get a slip knot and start it that way. And keep that little loop right there. It doesn't have to be tight on there. Then we're going to find the corner. This is the last strand on when I did my weaving. It was on my right bottom corner. But since I flipped it over, that's the corner. So I'm going to go in here. I don't know if I really want to go right there. I'm going to pull this back. I'm going to go in right here. You see that spot right there? It's just right beyond the knot. And you have your loop on there. This is my working yarn. You're going to do a yarn over, pull it through both of those right there. Okay. Now, this is your little piece. You're going to use that as part of your fringe, so it's okay to let it hang on this side. Let me come back down. Let me let it hang on that side. So that connected you. Now we're going to go to the next loop. See this loop here? And then there's a loop here and a loop here. We're going to go into each one and do a single crochet. So you put the hook in, you draw up a loop, yarn over, pull it through the two. Okay. Now I'm not pulling super tight. Right now I'm kind of snug, but as I go, I just want to do it very just taut. You don't want it super tight. Go in the next hole, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull it through. Here, I'll come in a little bit more. Ready? Next one. In, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull it through 2. So we're just going to keep going right along. In, through, okay, in, through, in, through. Once you get a little rhythm going, you can just kind of cruise right along. So this is just a single crochet. Now when you get to the color change, you're just going to try to find your loop. There's my loop right there. There's 3 here, so I need to find 3. That's 1. Here's the second one, 2, 3. Come on through. There we go. This yarn's a little bit bulky for an edge, but since I used it in the scarf itself and it's sort of the main color, that's why I chose it. You can choose whatever color you would like to use. Find a hook size that seems to work well with that yarn. On the label it usually tells you, unless you've done it before, you'll probably know what size hook you want to use. But on the label it usually suggests a size for crochet and for knitting too. But sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's not really going to give you the results that you want. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going and going and going. Okay, I'll stop so you can see what it's doing. So you can pull on it a little bit. And then the end of it is one of these little tails over here somewhere. You see that? So if I bring it over here, you can see the difference between the two. I'll come back in. Oops, that's not in. It's out. Here, let me come back in again. See the difference? Okay, so what we're going to do is continue this all the way down to the other end. And see, I'm not pulling it really tight. So this is, you want it to have enough flexibility. I'm going to go in the next few. I'm going to go all the way down. So you're going to go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through those 2. Okay. Now, once you do this too, if you feel like you want to add to it, you can always add to it. Turn around and go back. You just do chain 1 and then turn the whole thing over and go back and, go up and then come all the way back down the other way if you feel like you want to make another kind of border on it. That would help with if you have like a shawl and you want to have a pretty edge on it. This is just your basic edge that you can work off of. Okay, so I'm going to continue until I get all the way to the other end, and I'll show you how I end this row. We'll see you in a minute. Okay, I did want to show you something real quick in case you don't normally crochet, is that if you think that you did something wrong or incorrect down in here, it's just as easy to pull this end and just pull it out. If it's not right, take it out, and you can always go back over. You just find that loop again, find the loop. Okay, go in there and just continue back on. All right, so you don't have to be scared of something if maybe you went in maybe down here too far down or something and you go, oh no, I'm in the wrong spot. Just pull out that one end and find that loop again and continue on. You're going to be just fine. All right, I'm going to keep going. We got to get all the way to the end. Okay, so we're almost to the very end. Here's my other, is it going to focus? Okay. So here, let me bring it in again. There. Okay, so we're going to finish this row, well, edge I should say, not the row. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can get back into focus. There. There. A couple more. Okay. And here we are at the very end. Let's see, the very last one's right here. It's actually the hole that I put the fringe through. So I'm going to go right into that hole, same hole that I put the fringe on. Pull it up. One more. And now what we're going to do is pull this one all the way through, but before I do that, I need to cut the yarn. So let's back up a little. Because this is going to be another piece of your fringe, you want to cut it just a little longer, and then you can always go back and trim it. Okay. And that's all you have to do. You yarn over, pull it through, go all the way through. Okay. And then I would take my nail and pull it down as tight as you can. So now it's part of your fringe. And you have a very nice edge. Okay, so let's see, I got both edges here. I'll show you both edges at once. There we go. Okay, so you just kind of, you know, work it all the way down, kind of, you know, stretch it a little, get it to all settle. And then you're going to have a really nice looking scarf. And put them here. So we're going to line them up. I'm going to line up the knots. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is fold it again. Some people are probably cringing, going, don't do it. But you know what? Sometimes, like I said before, the fringe seems to take on a life of its own. Okay, so it looks like all my edges are there. You got to feel through, make sure that we're all right there. And I'm going to go like this. See all these little funny, how they're all kind of weird. I'm going to go to the shortest ones. Get my scissors, and I'm just going to trim them. And if you know, you lay it out and it looks kind of weird, then obviously fix it. Okay. So they don't look as bad now. All right. So there you go. You've got a nice crocheted edge all the way down on both sides. I hope you were able to follow along and understand that. If there's any questions, you can always put your questions below the video and make comments. Anything else you'd like to see me do, give me some suggestions. I would love to hear from you. And please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet, if you want to see some more creative tutorials. Appreciate you watching. Bye-bye for now.